So apparently this show came out in the fall of 2021. I didn't discover it until recently. I just started watching it like last week, a couple weeks ago or something. And I think it's actually quite interesting. To those of you that are fans of, dramas, mystery, suspense, thriller, those type shows, this is definitely one that I think it's a good watch. It's worth watching. Here's what the basic premise is as described by this here on Wikipedia, and then I'm going to go into, it's going to describe a little more detail on this other website I'm looking at. So, at Bayview High, it's a teen drama. It takes place in high school. At Bayview High, you have 5 students: Simon, Addie, Cooper, Bronwyn, and Nate. At Bayview High, the 5 students are given detention. Simon, known for starting an online gossip group with his friend Janae to snitch on his classmates, suffers a sudden and fatal allergic reaction. Each of the 4 students had a motive to kill Simon, and after it is determined that his death was not an accident, an investigation ensues. Now, I will say this. Now, so far the show just has 2 seasons. I think each season has 8 episodes. I just watched the first season, and it's pretty good so far. It's still not yet officially revealed who killed this student, but it is there's one person who is a high suspect. It's heavily implied that he did it. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to state just yet, but to those of you that are interested to watch the show, I'd like you to watch it to kind of see more for yourself, and then you can judge. I haven't got to the 2nd season yet, but I'm going to start it pretty soon, and I'm sure it's going to be revealed in there who did it, or at least who was complicit in it. What's the story? When 5 students go into detention on the first day of school, and only 4 come out, all profess they know nothing about how Simon died suddenly of anaphylaxis. But it's obvious to the students, who become known as the Bayview 4, that one of us is lying. Based on the young adult mystery novel of the same name, this series centers on these 4 students, the secrets that each of them feared would ruin their future, and the connections each had with both Simon and with each other. Straight A student Bronwyn, duplicitous cheerleader Addie, conflicted jock Cooper, and surprisingly deep drug dealer Nate were worried about exposure. They never thought they'd be mixed up with murder instead. Now, here's what some of the reviews say on Google. If I can find it. Okay. Sorry about that. I think I must have accidentally switched the tab or something now. The average rating coming from the Google audiences is 80%. So on the 1 to 5 star chart, most of the votes are actually at 5. I see some 4, I see even less 3, a little bit more 2, and even a little more 1. Most of it is 5. Now, I'm not going to read all these reviews, and I kind of don't want to, because one of them did say spoiler alert, and because I've only seen the first season, I don't know if they're going to spoil what happened in season 2, so I don't want to give that away to you or myself. But I will say this right here says, I had a lot of problems with the show. This is 5 stars. As someone who I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong number. That's number 1. I need to look at number 5 right here. This right here says, the best show I've ever watched. I don't know why there are mixed reviews. I haven't read any book of it. So for me, it was a really great show. Every moment I was in suspense. I was gripping my bed sheet while watching the show, wondering who would have done it. And all the actors did an amazing job. And the way it was filmed was superb. The flashbacks, the acting, the plot, everything was on point. I just loved it. And at the end, we all thought it was sorted, when at the end they leave us with another thing. OMG, I can't explain how much I love it. Superb. And I tend to agree with a lot of that. I think it was a pretty good show. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 89%. Internet Movie Database only gave it a 68%. So, but like I said, that happens with a lot of shows and movies and games and books and anything else. That, there's always going to be at least one person to love it, at least one person to completely disapprove of it. So now overall, I have to say that I think that it's a pretty good show. It's a little bit addictive, and I suggest checking it out. It's available to watch on Peacock. All I can tell you is that based on what I've seen, it's going to be revealed in season 2 who the killer is. I have an idea of who it might be, as I said earlier, but I still don't know for sure. Now, to those of you that have already watched both seasons, let me just tell you what I've pulled up here. This article details season 3, expected release date, cast, and more. Now, this article is a little bit misworded because some of this isn't true. I will say that it says One of Us is Lying season 2 recently landed on Netflix on the 16th of November, no less, and fans were over the moon to see their favorite high school crime thriller back in action. Actually, it's not on Netflix, it's on Peacock, but nonetheless. But if you're looking ahead for more episodes, here's what we need to know about a potential season 3, from release date to cast, and what they've said about it. This question says, has season 3 been confirmed? Right here it says the short answer is no. Netflix, which is really Peacock, haven't said anything about another series of One of Us is Lying, but that doesn't mean it won't happen. Season 1 initially aired on NBC Universal's U.S. streaming service Peacock back in October of 2021. 4 months later, it dropped on Netflix internationally in February of 2022. In January 2022, NBC Universal Peacock announced that One of Us is Lying had been renewed for a second season as reported by Variety before it dropped on Netflix in November. So vaguely following that pattern, we could maybe expect a third season renewed by March of 2023, fingers crossed. Who would appear in season 3? Well, all the characters that you've come to know in the first season, they're going to be there. Bronwyn, Jake, Nate, Addie, Vanessa, and Maeve. And it looks like if I go deeper, if I scroll more and more into that article, it starts to reveal some stuff that I haven't gotten to yet. So I'm not even going to read that right now. So I just want to give you guys the basis. That's what that show's about. Suspense, thriller, mystery. If you like that type of stuff, this is a good hit right here. Check it out. Available on Peacock.